Before you scale the growth, make sure that you've done lots of tests.
Welcome to the Real Estate Executive Thought Leadership Podcast, a fast paced show featuring focused insights from executive thought leaders in the real estate industry.
In episode 4, we speak with John Bodrozic. He's the co-founder of HomeZada, a greater Sacramento-based SaaS firm that serves homeowners and the industry stakeholders that work with them. We'll talk about executive management, entrepreneurship, marketing strategy, and how to leverage partnerships with other professionals and firms in your industry. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe, share, and leave a review to spread the word. Let's get started. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Kirky. Thanks.
Let's start with your professional background. What is your background in executive management and entrepreneurship? You're a SaaS founder?
Yes, I started my first software company back in 1994 as an entrepreneur. It was construction project management software, and I had the fortunate career path of doing that for about 15, 16 years and eventually had a successful exit. And then I was passionate entrepreneur and decided, me and two other founders, to do another startup called HomeZada. I've been totally infected with the entrepreneurship sort of gene pool, and I'm pretty passionate about it.
Okay, share a little bit about your educational background.
I got a degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Notre Dame, and I ended up in the construction project management industry with that degree, believe it or not. So I always tell people I got a great degree, but I've never actually practiced any form of mechanical engineering or doing any design work. And I ended up in construction management industry and learned about how large scale buildings and hospitals got put together. And that's where I got the idea for the first software company that I created.
Tell me a little bit about that first company.
Sure. It was called Meridian Systems. It was essentially construction project management software. We started in the mid 90s, so it was first desktop software, and then we migrated to the cloud as a SaaS model. It was basically designed for large scale builders and Fortune 500 companies that would build large scale projects, everything from high rises to hospitals to stadiums, theme parks, government buildings, etc. And it would track project management items like budgets and costs and changes and designs and documenting what happens on the site. It's sort of an orchestra of 30 to 50 companies that have to come together from both a design and a construction standpoint to design and build a commercial building. And our software kind of managed all that documentation from a financial management as well as an operational perspective.
What appeals to you about project management?
What appeals to me about project management is it's a discipline that can be used in various career paths, whether it's a marketing project, a software development project, real estate development project. It's really the concept of bringing multiple things together and understanding how they're interrelated. So I always tell people that project management has to do with what's the scope of what you're trying to do, what's the budget, what's the time frame that you have, and what are the resources that you have to try and accomplish that. And the combination of those sort of four factors all have an implication of one another. Some projects are very budget driven, i.e., we only have X amount of dollars and we got to get something done by such and such date. Others are very scope driven, of like, no, we need this amount of scope, and it doesn't matter whether it takes us 2 months or 12 months, we're going to get this scope done before we consider the project done. So, really understanding those sort of nuances of how those four things to come together is really why I'm super passionate about project management.
So let's get into professional direction a little bit. What does success look like for you in 5 years?
For me, I look at success of more about sort of the stakeholders that I surround myself as it relates to success. With this business called HomeZada, right? Our stakeholders are customers who are homeowners. Our stakeholders are partners. Our stakeholders are my other co-founders. Our stakeholders are investors. To me, it's, can I, in the next 5 years, continue to make more of those entities successful, whether it's making our customers successful, partners, etc. If I can align all those things so that everybody's gaining success out of being a stakeholder in the HomeZada business, then I personally look at that as my own sort of influence in helping everybody else be successful.
Oh, that makes sense. I think that's one of the keys to success. So, what professional development tools and resources are you engaging with?
I'm one of these avid self learners. I think that's been sort of one of my personal secret, not even secret, but just sort of recipes, I guess, for success is I've always been an avid self learner. It started back from, my story of when I got a degree in mechanical engineering. I went into the construction industry. I had no idea anything about it. So I had learned a lot about it. And then when I started my first software company, I had never taken a sales, marketing, accounting course in my life. And so in order to scale this business, I had basically was an avid reader of every sales, marketing, accounting book I can. So I taught myself a lot of sort of disciplines in the art of business, knowing that I had no formal educational background in any of those things. So I've always taken that as, even now today, with the HomeZada business, at its core, it started as a B2C company, and our previous company was a B2B business. So I spend a lot of time just avidly reading as much as I can from whether it's LinkedIn or books or other industries about, what is business to consumer sort of marketing challenges when you have a software company. And so that's kind of where I spend the bulk of my time, kind of trying to continue to enhance my own professional sort of career.
How do you decompress from daily business?
Yeah, that's a great question. First and foremost, I've always been the one that it's never for me a time frame because I end up thinking about business 7 days a week. But during the course of the day, yes, I will try to shut my brain off because I know that sort of need that recharge. For me, I guess the what do I enjoyed in terms of shutting it off? I've oftentimes enjoyed travel, which has been obviously cut back obviously during sort of this COVID issue. I'm a avid fan of multiple sports, and that's also been tough because these COVID issues has sort of reduced my ability to sort of view and watch sports. I also enjoy various forms of exercise, trying to keep the body healthy, and reading, candidly.
Okay, let's talk about HomeZada. Please give us an overview of what HomeZada does, who it serves. In other words, what are your core competencies and unique value proposition?
HomeZada is a personal finance tool that's really targeted towards homeowners. So everybody tells the homeowner your home is your largest financial asset and biggest expense. But most homeowners are disorganized when it comes to managing their house. They've got data scattered everywhere about, the mortgage documents, the insurance documents, is paper everywhere. You got owner's manuals in the closets. People forget to do preventative maintenance tasks. They're over budget on remodel projects. They kind of don't really have good financial visibility of all that. And so HomeZada is a platform that's built multiple apps, content, and data in kind of one place that really tries to empower homeowners to save money and be better organized around managing their house. And I'd say our core competency is really kind of what I call that all in one suite kind of strategy. It's kind of like analogous to the Microsoft Office suite for people who are professionals, right? Having Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel kind of all in one suite really helps us make us more productive in our professional lives. HomeZada is kind of the same approach, but except for a consumer. We think that consumers have app overload of logging into too many apps for too many different things. We kind of want to be that one single place to log into your house to help you make better decisions, to help save money and sort of manage that financial asset.
I'd also think this helps provide some accountability for homeowners too, to help keep your finances and the maintenance and everything on track.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a key part of the platform strategy is to essentially be proactive with the homeowner and sending them monthly reminders and alerts, whether it's, hey, Kirky, it's, July 1st. These are the three things that you should do to your house to keep it running, to, hey, it's August 1st and we've updated you on the estimated value of your house. But perhaps even more importantly is how much equity do you have in your house? So we're constantly being proactive with our homeowner customers to giving them information in a timely fashion so that if they need to make a decision about how to maintain that asset, we're being upfront in them in a proactive way.
How are you leveraging partnerships with other professionals and firms that have existing relationships with homeowners?
We do that a number of different ways, and it kind of scales up from what I call the individual professionals to the small businesses to even large businesses. HomeZada, we also have a professional version that's sort of self service. For instance, a real estate agent can sign up for HomeZada Professional and they can build in their branding and basically provide subscriptions to HomeZada to their homeowner customers, almost like a closing gift. And that's all kind of self service. But we've also started to realize that our professional partners can not only be independent real estate agents, it can be, the real estate brokers and or even insurance businesses. And it can even scale to large national franchises who are looking for a much larger scale out of a solution like HomeZada that provides benefit to not only their independent agents, but also their brokerages and also their alliance partners. We kind of view our partner opportunities first and foremost within the real estate industry, and it is brokers, agents, and franchises, but it also gets into other businesses that are vested in homeowners, which is obviously the home insurance industry as well as the mortgage industry, and pretty much anybody who's got a vested interest in trying to provide a value added solution to a homeowner.
I could see see that that would help them nurture that relationship too with their prospects and their clients.
Yeah, that's the common thread amongst all of our partners. It's what I call, most of them are in what I call a transactional relationship with the consumer. You're a real estate agent, you help them either buy or sell a house, or you get them an insurance policy or a mortgage. But then after that initial transaction, how do you stay relevant to that homeowner in a value added way so that you can A, increase repeat business from your existing customer, and B, if you make them happier and a more knowledgeable homeowner, they're much more likely to refer you to friends and family. So your referral business goes up. And that's part of the key strategy because we think that HomeZada, kind of what we talk about, is the home ownership journey that never ends. You buy a home, you own it, you sell it. That kind of goes on multiple times depending on how many you do that times in your life. And for our partners, we want to be able to provide them branding and being able to sort of be there with that consumer during that entire journey.
Are you finding adoption in international markets?
We are, even though we haven't really done any proactive marketing in international markets. We kind of look at HomeZada still as an early stage business, but I think the great exciting part for us is we've got customers in international markets, about 20 different countries, who've basically found us through digital marketing and have signed up and started using our product. So the bulk of our international customers are coming from other English speaking countries, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand. We've got customers in Europe, South America, etc., people asking us, when are we going to translate our product into their native language, which is an exciting opportunity for us to grow the HomeZada business to a global business.
I would imagine inbound marketing is partially driving that.
Absolutely. We when we launched the business, we made a concerted effort to, create a lot of blog content, and that's part of that strategy is write as much content about how we can be helpful to homeowners as it relates to that asset. That inbound marketing helps establish what HomeZada does for people. It helps them find additional content where they may not be looking for a product like ours first, but they may be looking for, what are the maintenance tips do I need to know for my home in August? They come to our content and they realize, oh, if I sign up for HomeZada, it's going to give me an actual schedule that's going to remind me of all my content that I need, maintenance content. It's a huge part of our strategy that drives various aspects from awareness to understanding to conversions, candidly.
All right, let's talk about trends. What trends and challenges do you see in the industry or marketplace, and how are you adapting?
Trends for us started with the our consumers comfortable using cloud technology to manage their house, and so I think we're certainly beyond that trend. And we've seen, even during sort of the COVID situations that hit us globally, is we've actually seen an increase in signups even given the current pandemic that the world is facing. We think part of that is because people are obviously working more from home and they're realizing, you know what, I've been procrastinating doing my home inventory for insurance purposes. I'm going to catch up on my home improvement projects. I need to track all that data. So we've actually seen trends with the consumer base actually increased during these recent COVID times. And then our opportunity with businesses is kind of fallen into, I'd say, two different camps. One is there are certainly businesses that have been affected by COVID where they say to us, HomeZada is a great idea. We're just going to put you on pause because we're not ready for you and we've got other priorities that we got to deal with. But then on the flip side, we've also seen other big opportunities accelerate because they said, you know what, even though we're dealing with COVID, we still need to innovate, and we want to innovate now so that when COVID is over, we're even more ready to capture more market share against our competitors by delivering a solution like HomeZada to our customers.
Now, I think that ties into my next question. How will a recession influence your approach? And I can see that during a recession, it would be advantageous for homeowners and for your other prospects and partners to help with the clients maintaining their costs and keeping up with that maintenance to maximize the value. So, yeah, talk about that a little bit.
First and foremost, I think our target customer is really the homeowner who sort of, is at median household income and up, people who sort of have discretionary income that are willing to spend $59 a year on a subscription fee for a tool to help manage their house. Given the current sort of economic recession that we're in, it's all sort of healthcare pandemic induced. More people are realizing the value of their home, a lot of trends about what they want out of their home, a lot of people developing home offices for their home. All those trends bode well for HomeZada given this kind of recession that we're faced with. But in my previous career, we've dealt with recessions that back in the real estate crisis and the dot-com crisis. And I think our strategy as business people has always been try to keep a lean and mean business that has a diverse channels to market and diverse revenue sources. And that will always get you through any kind of recession. So we've already baked that into our sort of business line of thinking of how we choose to run the business anyway.
Is sustainability part of your strategy?
Absolutely. That's kind of, again, baked in from day one. one, we know that with our customers, we want them to be lifelong customers. So if you buy your first house at age 25 or 30, we want you to be with HomeZada for the next 30 to 50 years of your life. So we're building sustainability in for our customers. We're building sustainability in for how we're going to continue to innovate the platform because we know that technology is always going to be changing and evolving. So that's already baked into our framework over how we've designed our product and business from day one.
All right, let's get into leadership. How would you describe your leadership style and how do you motivate your team?
I describe my leadership style as collaborative in a way, in the fact that, I've always said leadership is kind of picking out a target over where you want your company to go to from point A to point B. And then it's really sort of a ship or a boat analogy. You've got a whole bunch of people, different stakeholders, a lot of employees, investors, but can we get them all to row in unison? And they all have sort of their individual jobs. And if we can all row in unison, then our velocity of getting from point A to point B is going to be much faster than if we're not rowing in unison and we're sort of clashing with one another, right? So it's trying to spend time with all of your stakeholders to get them to all agree that we're going to this point B, and then understanding what their individual roles are going to be in order to get to point B, and then getting them to work not as a siloed individual, but as a team, because if we can all work it as a team, it's the teamwork makes the dream work sort of phrase that gets bandied about. That's not my phrase. I can't remember who originated it, but it's certainly one that sort of resonates well with me.
Do you have an in-house marketing team and do you also use outside vendors? What does that look like?
We do have an in house marketing group as well as outside vendors. We've always believed that when you're launching an innovative product, a lot of the innovation ideas over how to communicate that has to start with the in house team. But marketing is a pretty big, diverse discipline set with lots of different skills required. We certainly realize that there's a lot of marketing skill sets that we don't have. So we're constantly looking for outside firms to be able to help, augment our internal team and sort of work together as a team. And that's a constant evolutionary process for us of constantly being pretty aggressive on different sort of marketing strategies internally or externally.
Has the public health crisis changed the way your team works?
No, candidly. Even with a first software company that was started in the mid 90s through the 2000s, we had multiple offices. About a quarter to a third of our workforce all worked remote from around the country. So I've been doing sort of remote workforce management for probably 15, 20 years. And so even with HomeZada today, we believe in, a lot of our team is distributed in different locations. Our contractors and third parties are distributed in different locations. All of our systems are cloud based. So, candidly, with the healthcare crisis, how we've operated hasn't changed one bit because that was, again, always baked into how we chose to run the business to begin with.
What tools are you using to collaborate?
Oh, so many. It just depends. I mean, we use Slack a lot internally between myself and sort of the development team. We use all the different GoToMeeting, Microsoft Teams, a lot of those different sort of collaborative sort of tools. Skype, we use various cloud-based tools from Google Docs, Google Hangouts, centralized Salesforce system for tracking our enterprise opportunities. So we use lots of different sort of collaborative tools to help us as a team stay together.
All right, let's talk about marketing. What does thought leadership mean to you?
I'd say thought leadership, especially when you're trying to do something innovative, is again trying to visualize what the world is going to look like. It's kind of like the Wayne Gretzky analogy of skate to where the puck is. If you think you know where the puck is going to be 5 to 10 years from now, then use your thought leadership to try to communicate to people around you, both internal stakeholders and external, of what that destination of where that puck is going to be. So I kind of look at it as almost like a funnel of first you got to build awareness over what you're trying to gain. Once you build awareness, then you have to build understanding. Like, do people understand what you're trying to communicate? And then after you get understanding, you got to get to, do they believe in what you're doing? Right? I might get what you're doing, but you're like, I don't really think that that's going to be sort of a trend. And then even after I get you to believe, how do I get you to take action? And that action could be everything from creating a campaign that you may not have sort of thought about before to even getting a customer to kind of sign up, right? It's always at the end of the day, that funnel of awareness, understanding, belief, and action, and always trying to use different marketing strategies to kind of communicate that to your stakeholders.
Okay, we touched on this a little bit. Is an inbound content strategy worth the time and expense?
I believe inbound strategy content is definitely worth the time and expense, at least in the context of HomeZada's business, right? Because there's so many things to sort of communicate to homeowners. Even I have been a homeowner for going on 20, 25 years. There are things that I learned about my house that I should have known about before. To thinking about your house as a financial asset versus just a place to live and create memories around family kind of mentality. So there's so much content around what we do at the home that we had to create that, content strategy to continue to build out that content because it helps in so many ways. It helps build awareness for the HomeZada brand. It helps with search engine results over people searching for something, not necessarily as it relates to what our product does, but it helps introduce the consumer to our product because they're finding valuable content that they may be searching that may be home related. So for us, it's a huge deal.
How vital is social marketing today?
I'd say social marketing is definitely important. Is it vital as it relates to being number one? I don't think it's number one in HomeZada's case, but it's clearly something that we believe we have to do as well. Again, one of the things that we need to do is create awareness and build trust. And so, how do people develop trust with an internet company that they've never heard of before? A lot of that is they're going to go to their favorite social media channel and look you up and see whether you're active and sort of how engaged you are with the marketplace and sort of the content that you're producing on that channel. And that's one way that we see our consumers building trust with the HomeZada brand. So that's a huge component of why social is important to our strategy.
Yes, provides that social proof.
That's correct.
Is PR a part of your strategy?
Absolutely. I'd say it's maybe slightly even above the social bit for us. We try to do a lot of what I call guerrilla PR. There are a lot of people that write about the home. So the real estate industry writes about the home, the insurance industry, the home improvement industry, the mortgage industry, personal finance. Everybody's sort of writing about the home. We want to get our brand talked about with those other trusted media brands that are writing about the home. And candidly, when we get even mentioned in an article, we see a huge uptick in sort of traffic and conversions and signups. And then definitely, if we're sort of like the key highlight of an article, that even serves better for us. It's always what I call it's one thing when a consumer learns about you through a Google search, but it's a better thing if they learn about you through a trusted source that they already have a relationship with.
A lot of credibility there.
Exactly.
What channels are you finding yield the most leads and ROI?
I'd say for us, it's really our affiliate marketing strategy. We look for different kinds of affiliates. It kind of dovetails with our PR strategy, right? We can have affiliates that are, insurance businesses or real estate businesses. They could even be home media businesses. There's a lot of, media players out there that are focused on the home. And those affiliate partners who are looking to new and innovative solutions to communicate to their customers, and then our affiliate program actually pays them commissions, those $59 a year subscription fees. It's not going to necessarily make them a ton of money, but it becomes an additional passive source of income for our affiliate partners. That is a huge ROI win for us. And then even some of our strategic partners, they're not really even interested in the commissions. They would exchange those in exchange for co-branding, which to them is sort of important. Again, going back to that being present during the home journey.
How important are monitoring and tracking in your campaigns, and what KPIs do you focus on?
Monitoring and tracking is hugely important for us. When we started the business and started doing again that sort of B2C marketing, we did lots of tests of different channels. So we did Facebook ads and Twitter ads and Pinterest ads and all kinds of sort of different campaign strategies. And what we're always trying to do is manage the funnel over understanding what is the cost per those leads? What are the visitors to the site? What are the conversions of how many visitors decide to sign up for a free version of HomeZada? What are the premium conversions as it relate to what percentage are willing to pay a $59 a year subscription fee? And then even further down the funnel is what is our retention over how many people are willing to renew a year later? And what are their various engagement factors over how many times are they logging in? What's their average time per session? What kind of data are they getting out of the system or inputting into the system? We are really tracking a lot of metrics from sort of what I call the top of the funnel all the way down to the very bottom of that funnel for us.
Is the subscription fee the only driver of revenue, or do you generate revenue in other ways?
We generate revenues through the subscription fee and through transaction fees. The subscription fees is primarily through our consumer. The transaction fee is almost from our partners who are wanting a co-branded version to essentially buy the subscription year for their customer. It's almost the same revenue, but it's slightly different. And then, granted, in the future, we've already built an advertising model from a technology into the HomeZada platform. So we anticipate turning that on as an advertising way to generate additional revenues. And then strategically, we're building a really unique data set. In our roadmap down the future, we believe that we can continue to keep individual customer data anonymous and private and secure, but in aggregate, our data set could become very interesting in a way of monetizing that unique data set as well.
What is the most crucial element in positioning your brand?
I'd say it's almost like a 1A and 1B. 1A goes back to that understanding what HomeZada's brand does. We are a personal finance app for your home. First part is we don't want people to confuse us with we're not a home maintenance company that's going to send somebody to your house and perform a service. We're more like the app that's going to tell you, hey, it's time to do this service on your house and maybe connect you to somebody who, if you wanted to get them to come to your house, that's what you want to do. So our first and foremost is making sure that consumers 1A are aware over what we do and why we do it. And then 1B for us goes back to what I call trust. Our platform is all about privacy and security. We tell our consumers and our partners we don't sell or give your data to anybody. And so building that trust of we're really kind of the custodian of your data that's going to help you be a better, smarter homeowner. And in order for you to use our product over the course of your 20 or 30-year life as being a homeowner, we need to establish trust up front. And so we do that lots of different ways.
Here's another question is, and this is something that I've seen become more important recently, is accessibility a focus for your web design and your other campaigns?
When you say accessibility, are you referring to different device types as it relates to how people choose use different devices to access apps and content?
Well, that can be one angle of it too. But what I've been seeing is a lot of websites. There's been a big focus on making the website content accessible by having screen readers, by having ability to change the contrast and large fonts and that sort of thing. So I'm wondering if you do that with your website or with your mobile apps.
We do it with both, candidly. From a pure tech perspective, our app is built on the concept of what's called a responsive design. In that responsive design, we took it up front to sort of build our front end to be able to be used with screen readers for people who have accessibility issues, and did our best to try and even deal with all of the spacing issues as it relates to making it easy for people who have different sort of disabilities in terms of navigating the apps. Yes.
Can you share a story about a successful marketing campaign?
I'll share two. They're kind of related. One is with home improvement media company that's based in Arizona. It's a company called Rosie on the House, and they've had a radio show candidly in the Arizona market, basically talking to their Arizona homeowners about everything that needs to go into managing and maintaining the home. And they were looking for a way, they're obviously expanding beyond radio and getting into digital, and they had a similar vision over using a product like HomeZada, and they found us and we developed a great relationship with them. Now they've become an affiliate partner of ours, and the campaign, as we've seen a tremendous growth of our user base in the Arizona market, because the Rosie on the House group gets co-branding and the ability to kind of deliver some of their content from within our app, but at the same time they're capable of talking about HomeZada to the Arizona homeowners and the reasons why it's important to have a home inventory for insurance purposes and a maintenance calendar and your projects. And it's been a great relationship. Another example similar is with a large insurance company, same sort of concept. They wanted to tell their customer base that it was important for them to have a home inventory software. They came and vetted HomeZada and thought we were a great product, and so now they're promoting our customers to their about 500,000 policyholders that they have. And that's just probably a couple months into that relationship, but it's definitely proving to be a successful campaign for us.
Where do you envision the HomeZada brand going in the 2020s?
Our vision for the brand is really to scale the brand into being that place homeowners go to manage their house. Today, we're still in that early stage where there's, I think, 120 million homeowners in the US, and I'd say a majority of them have probably never heard of HomeZada. So, our goal in the 2020s is get them to hear about HomeZada, understand what we do, and sign up, because again, we know that our current customers save money and are better organized around that financial asset. So that's what drives us every day, is when our customers find lots of value in helping them manage this house. We think that there's an opportunity for us to do that with 120 million homeowners in the US. Now, are we going to get to 120 million? Obviously not. But even if we got to 5 to 10 to 15% of those homeowners in the 2020s, that would definitely be our goal. Just be that de facto place that homeowners go to when they want to manage their house.
What is one closing insight you'd like to share for executives targeting growth?
Before you scale the growth, make sure that you've done lots of tests to make sure that the growth path that you're taking is the appropriate growth path. I've seen this with both my previous company and even HomeZada. You might think you've got a good growth strategy, but maybe you haven't tested the three or four others that you could choose from. And maybe you start to plow money into growing in this particular direction, and it may not be as profitable or growth from a user acquisition as effective as it could have been if you had not done some of these other tests. So that kind of goes back to what I was referring to before, which what we've done in the past, which is test a lot of these channels, know what the metrics are in terms of customer acquisition costs, scalability, and the retention, and can you be profitable on that model? And then once you know that, then yes, put your money behind the model that you know works kind of mentality.
Thank you for being our guest, John. I've really appreciated your insights, and I think this has been terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirky, for the opportunity.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to get updates on our upcoming podcasts. Share the inspiration.